All right, it's 7:03. I know Ryan said Jeff had one job to do. Believe it or not, it was Tyler's job tonight.
Yeah,
and it continues to be Tyler's job. But we were on at 7. It took a minute for the.
I couldn't get it to load on my phone.
Yeah, we were waiting.
We'll
on
blame
Thrift.
it on Brian.
We were waiting on Thrift. All right, so it's good to be back. It's been a while, obviously, since Brian and I have been in the studio together for sure. Both coming off a couple good finishes. Brian had a top 10 at the James River, which jumped him back up inside Red Crest.
Thankfully. Good gracious.
Oh, yeah. He was so worried. He was doing that Thrift again, saying, I might have to find a new career and this, that, and the other.
I never said that. But I was thinking, and it still may happen. It depends on my finish at the St. Lawrence. But right now, I'm inside the cut for the championship.
Cut's 40, right?
Yeah, cut's 40. I think I'm in like 32nd or something like that. So I've got a little bit of wiggle room, not a lot.
Got a good cushion.
But it's
just one event
doable
to go.
now.
Just one event to go, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, y'all know Let's Talk Fish is presented by Angler's Choice Marine. Angler's Choice Marine, they've been participating, obviously, in the Great American Boat Sale. Huge savings on any 2023 models left over right now. There's not very many left. I think they've thinned a lot of those out. Also, some really big savings. I think up to like $5,000 on 2024 models.
And they got some beautiful 2024 boats. I was up there a couple weeks ago checking them out.
You posted a picture of one, I think.
Yeah, I posted a picture of one of them. They got some gorgeous new Rangers up there.
Yep. So y'all check out Angler's Choice Marine, Lexington, North Carolina, Spindale, North Carolina, which is Brian and I's local store here, and the mothership, the headquarters over in Martinsville, Virginia.
Yeah. So don't forget to check out the ACM tackle. I actually just made an order from them because they get a lot of special run stuff. They had some of the new Mega Bass jerk baits, so I had to call up there and order me a few of those. But if you're looking for some hard to find JDM tackle or just good quality tackle, they got it.
They do find some goodies, and they usually don't stay in stock long, or Brian gets them before they ever even hit the website. So
no, I have never done that.
One of two things happens. Well, I have, so I'm guilty.
Oh, so you got privileges.
Well, no, I've got some things like, you know, I may know somebody and they're like, I'm getting so-and-so color, so-and-so size in. And I got 6 of them, and I'll say, well, give me 4 of them. I won't take them all, you know, and put 2 on the
just
website.
Give me most of them.
See, Brian would take them all, though.
No, I wouldn't.
100%. All right, so I want to make an announcement real quick about the Cleveland County Bass Anglers. So first off, I don't think we did this. Well, I missed the last show, had something come up. Yeah. I did not tell Brian to mention this, so it's not his fault. It is my fault, but first of all, huge shout out to 2 CCBA junior teams. So basically the way the national championships work for the junior division, and I believe the high school division, is they go fish their state championship, and only the top 3 teams from the junior state championship make the national championship. Only the top 3 in the state. We had 2 of those 3 spots. We won it, and we had a team finish 3rd. And Mac and his partner, gosh, I think Corbin, I hope it's Corbin. And
I do not.
Austin and his partner Weston finished 3rd, but Mac and his partner won the tournament, and Austin and Weston finished 3rd. So congrats to those boys. Super proud of them. But on top of that, more exciting news. This Monday, July 15th at 6 p.m., CCBA is hosting a cookout, all right, at the Bobby Bell Pavilion in downtown Shelby, North Carolina. Starts at 6 p.m. Again, hot dogs, hamburgers for everybody that comes. And this is a interest meeting. It's also a kind of a send-off meeting for our national championship qualifiers. But when I say interest, I mean anybody in the county. You have a kid from ages 8, 9, all the way through a senior in high school. If you're interested in joining the team, right now we're sitting at 40-something kids. I know it's the largest team in the state. Kevin Dillinger's done an amazing job with this team. And it's just awesome time, awesome fellowship. Gets a lot of kids involved in fishing that have never been, had a chance to do it. And we've got boat captains. We always get the questions. What if we don't have a boat? What if my kid, the parents don't have a boat, or he knows somebody with a boat? Don't worry about it. We've got some boat captains that we can line up for those kids and get them out on the water. So y'all come by. If you get a chance, if you're in the area, 6 p.m. this Monday at the Bobby Bell Pavilion in Shelby, North Carolina. And I'll be there. Hopefully Thrift can swing by if he can make it.
I think I should be able to be there, too. There was one night I know my wife had something for me to do, but I think it's Sunday night. I got to check on that.
He's got to check his honey-do list.
Yeah.
Check his honey-do list. But, y'all, we got a bunch of things to talk about. We're going to do a James River recap. We'll do a Smith Lake recap. We're going to talk about a couple DQs that happened at Smith Lake.
I'm excited to hear about that.
Well, it's just getting old. There's so much drama in our industry this year, and it's like rule break after rule break after DQ after DQ. It's just getting old. It's just getting old, you know. And I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to tell y'all what happened, how it went down.
Yeah,
and
I'd like to know that.
Yeah, and then we're going to go from there. So
we'll hear it straight from somebody in the know, where you don't have to hear it through social media of what may or may not have happened.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Because there's a lot of that out there these days.
Yes.
But let's jump in real quick. Oh, by the way, just a quick announcement too. Obviously, we have a trivia giveaway at the end of the show. We're giving away a heavy-duty Angler's Choice weigh-in bag, along with the Angler's Choice Marine hat or ACM tackle hat, whichever you prefer, at the end of the show when we do the trivia. So y'all stick with us until then. Also, hit the like button, y'all. You know, Ryan's got a good point.
Can I hit the like button?
We got 70 people on here. Pushing 100 folks, and we only got 9 likes. So I have to think that if they're watching, they kind of like us a little bit, maybe.
Maybe just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. We got their interest somehow. Corbin, I said
maybe they're hoping the
say
camera
Corbin.
Pan over to Tyler. Maybe they don't like us.
Oh,
they're just hoping to see
you think
Tyler.
it's Tyler the one keeping them from hitting the like button?
Maybe. Could be. Hey, I've gotten better recently, so I'm trying.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Me and Tyler nailed that show the other week when Matt couldn't make it.
Y'all did look. I actually watched. I watched back about 10 minutes of it, and I was proud of y'all.
I thought we did good.
Y'all did a fine job. Ryan said it's 100% Tyler.
It
just
is.
FYI. We will not be in studio next week. We are headed to ICAST. Yep. It is that time of year. I fly out Tuesday. You probably
I'm
Tuesday.
leaving Tuesday too. Yeah.
Leaving Tuesday. Are you flying?
No, I'm gonna drive.
Are you probably going fishing?
No, I was going to, but I don't think anything's in season. Like, I don't know if the Atlantic red snappers open.
Everything's always in season in the ocean. I'm kidding.
I wish that was the case.
So you're going to drive, though?
Yeah, my wife's going to go with me. She's going to fly back Friday.
Okay.
We're going to drive down Tuesday.
And you're going to drive back Friday? Or start driving back Friday?
Well,
Gotcha.
I mean, it's only 7.5 hours.
Are you afraid of flying?
No, huh?
Okay, somebody said that.
So my thought is, like, I can drive down there for $150 and drive back. It's cost me $300 to drive down there and back.
You know, one of your sponsors would pay for your flight.
Well, probably. But by the time I drive to the airport, get there early, it's going to take me 6 hours.
You don't have to get there as early as they say.
You do in Charlotte.
They say 2 hours. No, I got that figured out. So every year
I wish you'd do tell.
I fly to. No, I'm not going to say this publicly. I'll tell you later.
Matt's probably flying private.
No,
So, yeah, that's the kind of person he is.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I guarantee you, Matt's got the hookup. I'm walking out onto the tarmac.
Canadians, boy, that's how they roll, man. John and Jesse, my boys up there picking me up in their private jet. No, that's not true.
That's what Matt gets. Okay, the jet's there, Matt. He's all right. I'm coming down the tarmac. I'll see you in a minute.
That's some Wheeler perks. You know, him and Duckett. They pretty tight. Duckett probably pick him up in a private jet and fly him wherever he wants to go. Yeah, I don't have those perks. Don't have those perks. All right, we're gonna jump right into it. So we'll get this out of the way first. We'll talk about the DQs.
Nah, let's save that for last because that's gonna be the juiciest topic.
Okay.
I think that's what we need to do.
All right,
let's take a
Brian's
vote.
thinking.
What do y'all think?
Well, it's like asking my 6-year-old, do you want candy before dinner or after dinner? What do you think she's gonna say? They always want the good stuff
That's
first.
a good point too.
Come on, dude. All right, let's just go with the James River recap. Let's go with the James River recap.
All right, James River recap. I guess I did kind of turn into a little bit of a river rat. I got checked.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to come out.
I got a check at both river tournaments this year.
Look at you.
But made my very first cut at the James River, first knockout round cut of the year, and first top 10 cut of the year, which I desperately needed because I was in like 46th place in the points. I was like 12 or 13 points below the cut line for Red Crest. So now at least we've got above that going into the last event and have a chance. But, the James was kind of surprising is how good it was and how good it fished. Absolutely full of fish. Like, I don't know about a 5-fish tournament. I wasn't, obviously I wasn't practicing to catch 5 big ones. I was practicing to catch, pound and a halfers. But it's amazing how many bites you can get there. Like, it was really, really good. The first day of practice, the tide was absolutely perfect for practice. Low tide was 3 hours into the morning. So the first 3 hours I was there, I caught 30 or 40 bass in the first 3 hours just on that outgoing tide. I'm like, oh my God, this place is amazing. Like, it didn't matter where you went, if you was on a rock, if you were on a seawall, a dock, a cypress tree, a grass, a ditch, a patch of mud, it didn't matter where you was at, you was getting bit. And that's just, I think that's a testament to how healthy that river is right now. There's an abundance of hydrilla when the tide gets low, a lot of hydrilla that's topped out, a lot of aquatic vegetation, and a lot of fiddler crabs. And that...
Hey, do the bass eat fiddler crabs there?
Dude, I think they do, because get this.
Now, when you say fiddler crabs, you talking about sand fleas?
No, I'm talking about the little fiddler crab with the one white claw they wave up in the air.
Legit.
You know, that
fiddler
little
crab.
See, sand fleas some people call sand fleas fiddler crabs too.
Now, sand fleas are things that dig down in the sand.
I know what a sand flea is, but some people call them fiddler crabs. But I know what you're talking about too. So.
Yeah, so the fiddler crab, he's got one white claw.
Yeah, he got the big
yeah,
claw.
like he's a little old bitty thing,
Yep.
but his one white claw is about the same size he is.
Yep.
But anyway, so at low tide, that first day of practice, all these mud banks are exposed. Like you've got the pad line that's a foot and a half out of the water, and these sloping mud banks. It's just old marshy, black, nasty mud. And these fiddler crabs are everywhere by the thousands, just running along. And I picked up the little Z-Man Mini Max chatterbait, the little bitty one.
I thought that's what you were throwing. I watched a little bit live. I thought that's what you were throwing.
Man, they would smoke that thing. Like, it was so much fun. You pitch
Matching
it right
the
up.
hatch, people. He's matching the
That's
hatch.
I was trimming it down, the Z-Man Mini Max, and I would trim the skirt down right behind the hook.
Let me tell you how you'd have caught a begging on that thing.
Well, I caught several. I caught a 410 on it.
Oh,
I
okay,
caught a
never
bunch
mind.
of, I caught a lot
Put
of
a
good
speed
fish.
crawl on it and cut one of the pinchers off, paint the other one white.
Dude, so I heard about somebody doing that at Winyah Bay.
Oh, did you really?
So to get off the fiddler crab story, I had a buddy one time.
Super speed crawl, by the way.
So get this, you're gonna like this. So he was taking a speed crawl and green pumpkin, cutting one of the claws off and taking mend it and cutting a white claw off a pearl white speed crawl and mending it to the green pumpkin speed crawl, and then he was winding it on top like a horny toad.
Okay, the first part made sense. Then when you said he winding it on top, that kind of threw me
He
off a
said
little
he
bit.
smoked them on that thing.
They
I
can
didn't
crack-
get that drastic with it.
Yeah, that's
But,
a
throwing
lot
that-
of work, man.
That's a lot of
For a
work.
soft plastic
Yes.
bait, it's gonna get destroyed.
So, it was, but anyway, back to the James River. It was a lot of fun throwing that Mini Max around. I caught every fish that I weighed or scored throughout the, 4-day event that I fished. Either came on a Mini Max chatterbait, a speed worm Texas rigged, or a Demiki 4-inch armor shad swim bait that I had on an Honor Flashy Swimmer. So I figured out I knew my whole key to having a really successful tournament. I was thinking I had enough fish that I could get close to making the cut just by catching them at low tide after that first day of practice. Mm-hmm. But I knew if I could figure that high tide bite out to go with it and catch a couple bonus fish throughout the course of the day when the tide was incoming or getting higher, that would help me get inside that top 10. And I figured out on a high tide bite, when that current really got rolling in, little bait fish would get up on the edge of those pads, and I could catch them on that 4-inch armor shad with that Flashy Swimmer. Like, it's kind of skinny, long, thin, looks like a little saltwater bait fish, and that little bit of flash from the blade on that Flashy Swimmer. I got a lot of bites on that on the incoming tide and high tide also. But that was my kind of three-pronged approach. I would throw that Flashy Swimmer at high tide, and then I would go down a bank with that chatterbait, the Mini Max, and what seemed to be what I figured out early in the tournament too was I could go down a stretch of bank, whether it was in a creek or on the main river or whatever, but the fish were really grouped up. So I could cover water with that Mini Max, and if I got 2 or 3 bites on a 50-yard stretch, I could go back down it with that Texas rig speed worm and fish it slow and get 4 or 5 more bites. So I could eliminate non-productive water going fast, throwing that Mini Max, and once I got a bite, I could slow down, and I would usually get 5 or 6 bites within a pretty small stretch. The fish were very grouped up like that. But all in all, it was a good tournament. Congrats to Skeet for his first BPT win. Mm-hmm. That was pretty exciting to see. I mean, it's been a while since Skeet had won an event, and that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was a fun event to watch. A lot of diversity in the tournament.
Right.
I watched Dylan Hayes catch some on a buzz bait, which was cool. Saw some really, a lot of guys. Skeet was throwing a little throwing a little square bill up on the docks and things like that, and catching some.
Chatterbait was a big player.
A lot of shallow water power fishing.
Yeah.
A lot of a variety of techniques, which is, as a bass fisherman, it's what I like to see.
Yeah.
I think that's what we all like to see.
Andy Montgomery, I seen him every day. So there was one duck blind about 300 yards out from one stretch I was fishing, and God, I watched Andy go in circles around that thing for probably 6 hours total during the tournament, and it seemed like he'd get a bite every lap around it. So it was pretty fun. It was a fun event.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Yesterday was my
Yesterday
birthday.
was Thrift's birthday, by the way. Everybody wished Thrift a belated happy birthday.
I'm an old
Emily,
man now.
my wife just wished you a happy birthday, and she said,
Thank you, Emily.
Andy Montgomery's birthday is today.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Well, happy birthday, Andy.
Y'all didn't know y'all had back-to-back birthdays?
I didn't.
And you've known him for 25 years?
Probably. Probably 25 years. Maybe a little
Interesting.
longer.
No, we don't have a birthday cake for the show, Ryan.
Oh, man, y'all let me down.
Are you
Now I'm mad
45?
at y'all.
45?
I'm 45.
45. I thought you was 2 years older than me. That's what I thought. All right. Yeah, James River, great event for Brian. Glad to see you well inside that Red Crest cut. I wasn't worried.
I wouldn't say inside,
You might have
but
been
I mean-
worried, but I wasn't worried. I
Oh,
knew you'd
I
make
was
it. I done
worried.
told him I said he'd be fine.
No.
So he probably had the best finish on the Tidal River he's ever had. Look
And
what
I
happened.
did.
Look what happened.
I think I know I made a top 10 in Potomac River one time. I might have finished fourth there one time. It's fourth
Okay.
or fifth, sixth, something like that. But it'd been a long time ago.
Yep. I got him this really nice weigh bag, Ryan.
I thought that was for one of our viewers.
It is. Well, I have more. Yeah, this is the one for the show. All right. Smith Lake recap. Four faces sonar jig head man. That's it. Yep. Pretty much end of story.
I watched
What
it
else
on
would you like to know?
I watched it on my off days, like when we have our off day. And obviously, we can't watch MLF live, and y'all were fishing, so I watched y'all's live. And
Tough to watch, wasn't it?
dude, it was tough to watch, but the weights were impressive.
Well, yeah, because of what we were doing.
I expected the weights, like I didn't know Smith Lake was that good now.
Well, it's so rewind to the spring. It takes 15 pounds a day to make a top 10.
Yeah.
April.
Yeah. But I always remember it being like, even though the weights are a little higher in the spring, I still remember it like, I remember practicing there and going out like, man, I don't know if I can catch 5 15-inchers back then. You know, when we used to go
Well,
with
yeah,
FLW.
I think so. So here's my take. I was just messing with the four-face sonar. I mean, that's all it was pretty much. There's a couple guys caught some largemouth, but they couldn't run the marathon that the four-face sonar guys. My plan in practice was to 100% focus on the FFS deal, take my Lowrance active target 2 and go out deep and look, because I already had this preconceived notion coming in. It's not a preconceived notion. It's just a fact. It's just the world we live in now, that it is a super deep lake, 150, 200 foot in a lot of places. Main river channel's over 100 foot pretty much everywhere you go, up the Ryan Creek
spots
Arm.
known to suspend on bait.
Correct. And in the summertime, 90% of the fish that live in that lake live off the bank. They follow herring and threadfin. And what I noticed in practice, which is not typical to a lot of lakes in the country that we go to, is that 90% of the fish, maybe 85% of the fish, no, probably 90% of the fish I actually saw on my active target were spotted bass.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing else in the lake except stripers.
That's
true.
I'm
almost convinced. I never caught a catfish.
That's odd.
That is
Yeah,
odd.
odd.
Doing the minnow deal. I did catch a couple guard, but I knew what they look like. I mean, they
Right.
look like this table on your four-face sonar.
And they got like 3 big echoes. coming
Yeah, that's
off
right.
of
That's
them.
right. They're really funny looking once you
Yeah.
understand, especially one of them big long ones.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, so
And gar usually never by themselves this time of year. Were yours by themselves?
yeah, most of them actually
Really?
were.
So
Yeah,
usually they get
but I'm out there in 100 foot of water.
Gotcha.
You know, and they're down there 30 foot deep. They're big ones just cruising by themselves. Most of them were singles.
Yeah.
If you get in some of the pockets and up close to the bank,
See them up surfacing.
Yeah, you'll
that's
see.
when you see like 100 on side.
Yeah,
images.
that's right. You'll see multiples. Yeah, but you know, Brian, I think I laid eyes on a few crappie here and there. I never caught one. I will tell you this. I'll give anybody some insight about Smith Lake and Ford Facing Sonar. If you want to go practice your FFS skills, take your Lowrance active target 2 if that's what you're using or whatever, and go out to Smith Lake right now. And this is how easy it is. You get in the river, just get in the river channel. The heck with everything
Just go.
else. Just get in the river channel. and just go and don't stop until you start seeing fish and bait. And that's pretty much what our tournament consisted of. And I'll be honest, so part of our topic tonight was 2 DQs and mindless fishing. And I did an article with Luke Stoner right before the Smith Lake tournament, or right when it started. And he actually titled it Mindless Fishing, so I kind of stole this title from Luke because I thought it was a perfect title. Luke won't mind, I'm sure. And what we talked about was just kind of, I hate to get back on the topic, but the first day of the tournament, I'm in the boat, or the second day, and I looked at my marshal and I was like, I'd caught like 40. I mean, I just catching them. Just most of the ones that I'm throwing at aren't biting, but that's how many I'm throwing at. I'm throwing at like 150 fish, and I've caught like 40.
Right.
It's like noon, and I'm like.
So, did you catch a lot of singles, or was it more like when you saw 2 or 3, you'd get one to bite?
A combination, but when you sell a group, like I know there's wolf packs out there of 15, 20 fish too.
Yeah, when you saw that, that's guaranteed.
You 100%. But you could catch one. Or here's the thing about it, dude. You could catch 1 or 2 of them. They just keep swimming, dude. And these son of guns and Smiths swim like freaking drag racers. They gone. And I had to put my trolling motor on 80 to keep up with some of them.
Gracious.
I mean, seriously, like they'd be coming at the boat, and if you didn't reposition your boat, they'd be underneath you before you knew it.
That's crazy.
And that's when you're seeing them at 100 foot.
Right.
But when I saw a group,
so they're
of them,
not just like out there suspended.
No, they ain't just hanging out.
They're hunting.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They're hunting. They're constantly hunting.
Yeah.
And it was kind of really cool. I got to witness some cool things. You know, that's the thing about active target. It's taught us so much about bass behavior and things like that. I watched multiple times. I'd see a group of spots, and I'd get lined up on it. I'd let them get in there to about 60, 65, 70 foot and make a perfect cast. And then I'd see a striper underneath them.
Oh, God.
I'm talking about 3 times bigger than any spotted bass in the school, or 4 times bigger. And all of a sudden, he'd come up under him, and they kind of just hover and split, and then he'd come up above them and push them down. I had my active target set on 60
So the
feet.
striper's like actively feeding on the spots.
They're chasing them. I can't guarantee one ate them, but I had about a 30-pounder try to eat a 2-pound spot beside the boat.
Oh, yeah, they definitely eat.
They 100% are hunting those spots. But I had my active target set on 60 foot. Now, I was in 100 to 120 foot of water very often, but I did not catch any fish below I didn't really see any fish below 50 feet, right. So I stayed in that range. But I did have a couple stripers come up and bust the spotted bass school, and I'd see that big giant chase those spots completely past 60 foot and out of sight.
Yeah, like chase them all the way down.
All the way down,
yeah,
to the timber and stuff. And I guess the spots would go to the timber to take cover and get away from stripers. But if I was a fish less than 2 pounds in that lake, I would be scared to death to swim in open water. But that being said, I did tell my marshal. I looked at him and I kind of said, "Man, I'm not going to lie." I said, I'm just a little disappointed right now. And he said, "Why? You got pretty good bass." I said, "Well, it doesn't have anything to do with my bag or what I'm catching or anything like that. I feel like I could compete in this tournament. I just had to commit to keep doing this and not let these demons on my shoulder tell me to go over here and fish this dock, go do this.
Go throw a buzzbait or
correct.
Skip a jig under a dock."
And there was some fish caught doing that. Don't get me wrong. But I knew if I could commit to what I was doing, I could come away with a solid finish. And the disappointment came for me because I never had to make any critical decisions. I had no critical thinking during the tournament.
It's just going down the river channel going,
I didn't have to follow a bunch of instincts. I didn't have to chase a pattern. I didn't have to rig up 30 rods. I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Brian knows what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I know
So
exactly what
I was just a little disappointed in where our sport's
There's
at.
no decision making.
No decision making.
Just go out there and troll around.
And some guys are saying, some are greater than others and this, that. Well, yeah, but I mean, here's the thing, like, I'm not the best in the world at forward-facing sonar, but I feel like in 6 months I got really, really good at it.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the case. You know what I mean? Like there should be, like Brian's 45, I'm 43. I think I'm the oldest guy in the top 20 in the points right now in bass. And to me, a 40-year-old should kind of be in his prime in bass fishing.
Used to be.
It used to be, yeah.
Used to be.
And I looked at the standings the other day.
5 years ago. Well, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 to 5. and I told Tyler this earlier. I looked at the standings the other day in bass in our AOY standings in the Elite Series, and I think 6 of the rookies, are in the top 20, if not the top 15.
We're the exact same way on the MLF.
In the history of bass fishing, as long as you and I have done it,
never happened.
Beyond that, it's never happened before. And Tyler
you'd always have maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, you always have. But I mean, you look at any sport in the world, like Major League Baseball. You have 20 rookies go in.
1 or 2 is going to be standouts.
Yeah, more than 50% of them are not.
Right.
They're going to have to adapt, adjust, train, work hard, et cetera, et cetera. So, that was kind of my thoughts on the Smith Lake tournament. Obviously, it was won with forward-facing sonar. It was
I
dominated
tell
that
you
way.
what, I enjoyed watching. I think it was Hamner fishing, throwing that spoon. Like he was fishing more brush and
Yes,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
target fishing more.
Yeah, he was target fishing more, which was probably what I would have been doing had I been in that event. So, I mean, that was cool to watch. Like I got more enjoyment watching that than anything from it.
And there were a couple guys, Shryock, Steve Kenny, a couple guys capitalized on some big largemouth the first couple days. But, I told Scott, I said,
It went away by the
no
third
way, it's
day.
going to last 4 days.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there's no way. They can't withstand these guys catching 50 to 60 a day, every day, guaranteed.
Right.
And they've committed to it. But
I'm sure a lot of guys supplemented the shallow bite with the forward-facing sonar bite to get good cash checks. And probably make top tens.
1,000%. And
I'll tell you, my favorite person to watch was Kennedy. Catching them on them big baits.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
he was throwing blind bait around.
How can you, nobody in their right mind can argue that.
And then who was Shyrock was catching them on a plopper, catching them on top.
Yep. Lester, I don't know if he got any coverage, but he caught, no, I don't think he did. I don't think he was in the top 10. He caught the majority of his fish on like a popper style bait.
Right.
But he said the same thing. Day 3, it kind of went away, fizzled out, ran out of fish, whatever. I sampled some largemouth for about 2 hours in practice. Had one bite. It was a good one. But I just I never got a good feeling about the number that lives shallow on that
if
lake.
you could get 5 bites.
Like if I could get 5 bites, and then I might still weigh 11 pounds.
Right.
And I'm like, I can go out offshore and catch 11, maybe 12 or 13 if I'm lucky.
Right.
And get a check, and
For sure.
Anyway. So, and I can catch a lot of fish too.
Have fun.
Get a lot of bites, get a lot of bites. So, all right. Ryan, that's what I'm going to jump into a little bit. William, that's funny. He said 2 things I learned from watching the Smith Derby. McKinney can't tell time and Hamner can't count. So, Hamner got he had 6 fish in his
Oh, no, I forgot
about that.
I didn't hear about that one.
Poor Justin. Justin, he's funny. He's so funny. But yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay. So this is the story. I didn't know the story. So Mr. Jones here said Hamner actually forgot about the 6 fish in the other live well. It was bleeding, and he put it over there to be beside itself and forgot it was in there. That's what he said anyway. Interesting. So I don't know what kind of boat. I think he runs a Phoenix or Falcon or.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure what kind of boat Hamner runs, but I guess he has separate live wells where, like in our Rangers, we can see across the board.
You can see both sides, yeah.
So, and I'm always like, it may happen to me one day. Knock on wood, it's never happened to me yet. And Brian's like me, like super OCD about little details.
Before I throw one back, I always count.
Before I make my next cast, I count again.
Yeah, like before I throw
call
one
and then
back,
I count
I'm
again.
counting. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
All right, throw one back.
That's right. Now I have,
But even doing that, I could see how it could.
I have thrown 2 back one time. And then looked in the live well, I had 4. It didn't make a difference on the outcome of the tournament, but I did like overcull one time. I don't know what I was thinking or doing, but
It happens.
Anyway,
I know somebody one time at St. Clair that was fishing, and how St. Clair, you're catching so many smallmouth. He was culling 3.5 pounders all day, and when he got to weigh in, he only had 4. He was culling his 4th fish every time.
Oh, you do that all day. Boy, that'd be tough.
Yeah, he weighed like 4 for 18, and he said he culled like 25 times.
So he had 22, 23 pounds, something like that.
Probably 21 to 22, yeah.
That's a pretty big mistake. So we touched on the mindless fishing aspect of the title, which is kind of what I was talking about, and just the type of fishing that we're doing, and a lot of guys. I mean, I kid you not, a lot of our guys cash good checks getting in the river channel up the Ryan Creek arm in 100 to 150 foot of water, and literally put their trolling motor on 80 or 90 or 100 and just went. I talked to Brian Schmidt after the first day. I think he had a bad first day, caught like 9 or 10 pounds.
Yeah.
He said, Arey, I'm dropping my trolling motor right out here outside the no wake zone in the middle of the channel. I'm just starting to go down the river.
That's a good play.
And that's what he did. He caught 12 pounds the second day.
That's a good play.
And I'm like, what's wrong with us, man? Like, what is wrong with us? and I mean, that's what he had to do. Like, he didn't want to do it. That's what he had to do. All right.
That's it.
We talked about ICAST next week. I know we won't be present. We talked about the Smith Lake wrap-up. We talked about a little bit of mindless fishing. Let's talk about the DQs. We've had
the DQs.
A bunch of them this year. We've had a bunch of penalties this year. What have y'all had on the BPT side as far as penalties or DQs?
The only thing I know of is with James Watson.
Well, the bird still got reversed.
Yeah, it got reversed. We talked about that on the show already.
Okay.
But I think James Watson getting, a suspension for 2 years, I believe
He's a solo hero.
I think that's the
Only one that got a big penalty.
I think. I may be forgetting somebody. Correct me if I am.
Yeah, that sounds right. So at Smith Lake, we had.
I know the Kobe Krieger. He had he was.
Yes. Kobe Krieger was 1 DQ. He actually, it was self-reported that he had fished, I think, a day too long. 1 day past the off limits for Smith. Honest mistake. He reported himself, and obviously they had to DQ him for the event. Joe G asked, was the recreational traffic as bad at Smith as people thought it would be? Good thing is we had on Saturday we had check-in. Thursday and Friday wasn't too bad. Saturday it was starting to get pretty rough around noon. I was due in at 2:00, and it was getting pretty saucy.
Get a little sporty.
Yeah, getting a little sporty at 2:00. Sunday, I'm not sure. Obviously, didn't make the top 10. Ended up in 16th in that tournament, but
I could see that lake being terrible because it's so narrow.
Correct. Yeah.
Like the boat wakes don't dissipate.
That's right.
Like if you get one of those big wake boats or whatever they call them going down the middle.
Yeah, and you got a lot of bluff walls in that lake too.
Yeah.
So they come off the bluffs and they come back.
You know what was surprisingly probably one of the worst places I've ever seen? The Upper Chickahominy.
It's bad, huh?
Oh my God, absolutely insane. Especially on the weekend.
Big boats too, I bet, huh?
No, it's in wake surfing boats. So it's these big wakeboard boats.
And they're trying to make the biggest wake possible.
Yeah, they go like 7 miles an hour, and somebody's like 3 feet behind them, looking like a jackwagon. And it's throwing like a 6 foot wake. Like it don't even look fun.
That's what they love to do, though, bro.
But it doesn't look fun. Like I could see it, like if you're going fast, getting a thrill, but they're just sitting back there going like 5 miles an hour. I don't understand it. But anyway, there's 1,000 of them on the Upper Chickahominy. And when the tide gets low, you pretty much can't fish up there because when that water drops out and exposes those mud banks, I think they're going to end up having to do something about those wake boats because they're going to end up ripping all the vegetation out of these waterways, especially like a place like the James when the tide gets low and they're throwing these 5 and 6 foot wakes up there where the river's only 150, 200 yards wide. They're going to erode all the grass, all the lily pads, all those marsh banks. It's going to be pretty bad if they don't think about doing something.
That could turn out really, really bad, especially in the long run. Ryan, there's a lot of our guys fishing in 130 plus foot of water, which is crazy. The majority of those fish were suspended anywhere from 10 to 30 feet deep. The majority of them, and the majority of the bait was in that range too. So, and the combination of bait that they were eating, I had some that were on herring, and I had other that were on small threadfin. But they didn't seem to discriminate too much. I don't think those fish see a lot of baits, especially this time of year on that lake, because none of the locals really fish.
Right,
and,
except for at night.
That's right, except for at night.
Anyway, if you throw a jig head on a minnow with a minnow on it, you're good.
You'll get some bites. Yeah.
But you got to throw a sea urchin and a turtle to win.
Yeah, apparently. Crab, squid, turtles.
I think it was a turtle. It looked like a turtle dipped in cocaine and a sea urchin.
A turtle dipped in cocaine.
That's what I think he was throwing.
That is what it looked like, yeah.
I seen the picture. That's what it looked like. It looked like a sea urchin. And then it looked like a turtle dipped in cocaine.
I think he catches them all on like a Sakamata shad, and he just puts that stuff in the pictures.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's what I think. But, all right, we... I'm fishing with Fish Call. Said never been able to catch the show live. Glad to be here. Love the show. We appreciate you. I actually know kind of the story behind the story with that, Mr. Jones. But again, you said it the best. There is more to the Kobe Krieger story, but that is Kobe's story to tell. And
so has he told it yet?
I mean, I only know the details because I learned it from my roommates who are close with Kobe.
Okay.
But. That's not for me to say. So
okay.
Bass put out the release on it, and it is what it is.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to go digging, good luck.
There you go. But the basis of it was he fished a day after all.
Yeah, basically. And trust me, it wasn't anything worse than that.
Right, it wasn't malicious.
No, absolutely not. Kobe's not that type of guy.
No, I've known Kobe for a long time.
The other disqualification was Trey McKinney. So what happened with Trey? And poor Trey, I said Trey. I told him this at St. John's when he got hit with the penalty for running the no wake zone, I said, did you watch the video? I said this when we were getting ready to blast off the second day, and I knew he had that penalty. I said, did you watch that? Did you watch the rules video? Well, I had it. I had it on my boat playing when I was rigging my rod. I said, it's a hard lesson to learn, but you better watch that video. You know, every place is a little bit different. And, you know, he's like, I know. So apparently Fort Smith, maybe he read the rules, maybe he didn't. But what happened was he was late on the second day of the tournament, like running bad late. And
like he was just thought he was doing it at a different time. Like,
apparently, or just lost track of time, whatever. You know, he's 19 years old. So his mom decides to call him on his phone to let him know he's late and needs to come in.
Oh, God.
He picks the phone up.
He answers
He answers the phone,
Yeah.
takes a call, realizes he's late, hangs up, goes in. He's 7 minutes late, 7-pound penalty. Kid had a big bag. He ends up with 8 or 9 pounds. Pretty much potentially could very well cost him the Angler of the Year title at this point.
Ooh, so that made it close back between him and Jordan? Or
No. Jordan fell out at Wheeler Lake. So Hamner and Cody Huff are first and third, and McKinney's either in second or third, and Huff and Hamner are right there. Hamner's leading it.
Nice.
So, yeah, you talk about an epic year. AOY, Classic, all kind of stuff.
That would be insane.
Hamner's on fire. He's on fire. Somebody put him out. All right.
He is definitely having a fun year.
So he took that call. When he got in, weighed his fish, come off stage. I had heard he self-reported that he got a phone call. You know, I'm sure probably after he found it was against the rules.
Right.
And I don't know if he knew it was against the rules when he took the phone call or not. If he did, he shouldn't have taken the phone call is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, bottom line is, guys, just read the rules. This is so funny. I saw a post, and Tyler reminded me of it before the show. I'm going to ask you this, Brian. So Swindle posted a funny question video the other day. He posted it. He said, this is just a question. This is just food for thought. He said, I just want y'all to answer in the comments. He said, if a man is handed a list of rules, you're getting ready to fish BPT or Bassmaster Elite Series, and you don't read them. When you
I seen that.
When you get polygraphed,
I seen that.
Would you pass it?
That is a good question.
What do you think?
I think it depends on
obviously
how
not if you took fish out of a basket or something like that.
Yeah, I think it depends on, because I know the polygraphs I've taken with Bass Pro Tour, they ask a specific question. They don't ask if I read the rules. Like they would ask, you know, did you solicit information during the off limits or once the schedule was announced? Or they would ask, did you fly a drone over tournament waters during practice or during the off limits? Or
But I think he's referring to, obviously, I'm pretty sure Swindle had a specific person in mind.
Right, yeah.
We won't say any names,
I'm sure
pretty
he
obvious. And but like running a no wake zone that's not marked no wake, or taking a phone call from a family member telling you you're late. You know, so that's kind of, I think, what his question was referring to. So do you think you would pass it if it was referring to minor rules?
Yeah.
Not minor. Every rules should be major, but what Thrift's saying is blatant cheating, putting weights in fish or something like that, compared to, or getting information, things like that, compared to running a trestle, a no wake zone that's not marked. So, you think you probably could then?
I think you could. I think polygraphs. I think some people can pass a polygraph. Like,
Okay,
I think a
I'm not gonna
habitual
disagree with
liar
that.
can
Habitual
pass
liars,
them.
yeah. Well, we're fishermen. We're all habitual liars.
To an extent, I guess.
Trey, so
I mean, there's a reason polygraphs aren't admissible in like a court of law.
100%, yeah.
Like
yeah.
there's no 100% this is the way with it. Like it just leads you to a suggestion or a thinking that maybe something took place.
That's right. Trey, I don't know the details. Him and Mr. Jones said it's not self-reporting if someone tells you to self-report. That is 100% accurate.
That is very true.
I agree with that 1,000%. I don't know if he was told to self-report or he self-reported, after he found out it was a rule violation. I don't know exactly how that part of it went down. But,
not to defend what he did or nothing but I'm thinking back, like, if Emily calls you during a tournament.
I'm going to think it's an emergency.
Right, that's what I'm sitting here thinking.
But my wife knows the rules.
Yeah,
she knows she can't call me.
Mine does too.
Trey McKinney's mama, I feel like knows the rules. And here's why I say that. She travels with him everywhere he goes and is always by his side.
Right.
And if she doesn't, she needs to read them the truck.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. If there was a major emergency,
correct,
she's going to call me 2 or 3 times back to back to back, or she's going to call the tournament director.
Correct. The tournament director is
the
tournament director is probably who needs to be, phone first, especially if it's an emergency situation. Because if I see a call from Lisa Talmadge, I'm getting it.
Right.
And a lot of times our phones are in a compartment somewhere, turned on vibrate. But I will check my phone occasionally just to see if my wife has called me or there's an emergency, just to make sure there's no emergencies anywhere.
Right. And that's one good thing with the BPT, us having officials. All the officials have a MLF phone for the day. So if somebody needs to get in, like, they'll call the official or text the official, and the official will let us know, like, if something's going on.
Oh, I know what the other penalties were for. You may not even know about this. It was in our email from Bass. So J.T. Tompkins and Trey McKinney were hit with sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship.
Okay,
I think it was sportsmanship.
Zaldane got hit with one too. This is what got me thinking about tonight.
It's cut and brush.
We got so much
What's
crap
going on?
at Bass.
I hadn't even heard about these.
Okay, so
open my eyes. Open my eyes. Let me.
I'm
see
sorry.
what's
I apologize to the fans watching and listening.
We got
I
all
forgot
kind of
about all this.
goodies
We've got
going
so
on.
much drama. I can't even remember it all anymore.
What are y'all doing over there?
It ain't y'all. I mean, I'm staying the course, man. I'm trying to do my thing and catch bass, Brian. Trying. Ryan said he could see me as an insurance salesman. I hope I keep catching bass for a few more years before I have to do that.
That's me. I hope I can survive at least 10 more years.
Yeah. So, JT and Trey both received citations, I think. Is this right, Tyler?
I think you're on the right
received
course.
citations from an Alabama conservation officer for cutting trees and sinking them.
Where at?
Was it Wheeler or Smith?
I think it was Wheeler in pre-practice.
Yeah, I think it was Wheeler pre-practice, which is illegal per state regulations.
It's illegal to sink brush in the state of Alabama, or
well, per state regulations, it was illegal.
Yeah.
So they were hit with I think they got warnings from the conservation officer, and then Bass hit them with some kind of penalty. I don't know what
like
it was.
a warning or fine or first offense type thing or something.
So as an elite angler, it is your responsibility to not only read our rules, but to read the state regulations, because the laws are the law. And I can promise you that they will come down harder on you than Bass will if you're doing some pretty bad stuff in their state. Especially when you get up north in certain places.
Right. Like what was it last year? The one guy got a ticket in South Dakota and couldn't get a license or something in Louisiana and ended up having to drop out of the elites.
Yep. That was Josh Strassner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh Strassner.
Trey Scott did. So what Scott did, and he talked about it on YouTube, he basically, it wasn't marked no fishing or anything like that, but it was mentioned in our briefing video, and it was a place, he'd actually fished it before, but it was a place near the Apopka Lock down on the Harris Chain that he was throwing into that, he posted it on his YouTube channel on the tournament vlog that we have on his channel there, and he caught 1 or 2 bass and ended up weighing 1 or 2 bass and ended up having to self-report it when he found out it was against the rules. And he
I remember it. Because they're supposed to treat it like a brick wall. Like
correct.
Bait can't go
Correct.
past,
yeah. And he ended up having his whole day's catch DQ'd for that. So the
you
penalties.
can fish in a lock there. I would have thought it would have been okay too.
Only one lock can you fish in there, apparently.
Well,
certain other locks you can't. So a little confusing, but yeah. All right. Access to unaccessible waters. I'm not sure what I read in the email from Bass about Trey and JT. It was cutting and sinking brush, and that was they were issued a warning from the state, which got back to Bass, and Bass ended up. I'm not sure exactly what they did, but they hit them with some kind of penalty.
Yeah.
It may have been a delay penalty where they had to sit in the penalty box while everybody else blasts off and wait. I can't remember what it was, but Zaldane's was a sportsmanship deal, and Chris, he kind of brought this.
I think I saw this.
He brought
video.
this on himself.
Yeah, I think I saw that video on social media.
I'll be the first to say I think he approached that the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, there was a local sitting somewhere he wanted to fish. He pulled up beside him, just started fishing. They started yakking back and forth at each other. And I think Chris posted it on his channel on YouTube, kind of thinking that he would get supported and think he was in the right, either that or he was doing it for a lot of clicks, because it got both. It got bombarded with a lot of comments and a lot of clicks.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to say 75% of them are probably not in his
I'd say
favor.
96% of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So basically, they got into a little verbal disagreement,
Altercation.
and, you know, one of our rules states, you know, we must be held to a high standard as professional anglers. We don't, you know, especially disrespect the locals and get in verbal arguments with them and use any profanity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Chris, he got a little hot that morning, and anyway, they had a confrontation, and you know, it ended up looking pretty bad on Chris's part, and Bass, you know, Bass disciplined for it, and I'm not going to disagree with Bass, because I do think Chris handled that the wrong way. You know, there's ways to handle that. When you pull up, you have a conversation with the guy and or girl or whoever's there, and if they don't, you know, if they're okay, say, hey man, you know, the way I would have handled that, I'd have pulled up. Brian's a local, he's fishing a point and I want to be on. Say, hey Brian, you know, or hey, you know, buddy, I caught 17 pounds here the last 2 days. I'm fishing for $100,000.
Yeah,
trying to support my
fish
family.
with you?
Yeah, would you mind if I fish this with you?
Yeah.
A lot of times those guys will pick up and move, and they'll let you have it. And
Oh, yeah. And if not, like, it's understandable. They were there first. Like, you can't get mad about it if they were there first.
Correct. And that's just part of what we have to deal
I
with.
actually had a situation like that when we were at Murray last year. It was before Lines End. I actually went to the point they were schooling on. I wanted to start. And I come around the bend. I get about a half mile from it. And there's a boat, like, setting off to, like, he's not sitting where I want to sit. He's probably 50 yards from where I want to sit. I'm like, he's far enough that I can sit there and I won't look bad. I won't feel like I'm cutting him off or doing something wrong. But I pulled up. I said, guys, we got, 20 minutes before Lines End. Do you mind if I sit out here and fish when it's Lines End? He's like, no, we don't mind at all. He's like, come on in. And so, but I did get to watch them sit there and catch them schooling for 20 minutes before Lines End. But, lines were in. They were still schooling. We caught some fish and had a good time. But that's just part of it.
So I looked this back up because I saw a comment on our said it was from something about inaccessible waters cutting trees.
I got it. Right.
So I've got the email.
It was what?
Basically, Trey and JT both received sportsmanship 3 code of conduct first offense penalties for breaking TVA regulations by cutting multiple live trees.
So, like, they were on state or federal property? Or?
Must have been. So these are live trees that were attached with a root system to the bank.
Yeah.
That's what a live tree is. Prior to the 28-day off limits, which resulted in both anglers receiving a warning ticket from an Alabama conservation officer.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything about accessible waters. Now, this is the actual email from Bass to the anglers. Lake Murray, Chris Zaldane received a sportsmanship 2 code of conduct first offense penalty for a verbal altercation with a non-competitor during competition. So those were the actual penalties. That's them in writing. Is exactly what was done and what happened.
Right.
Now, as far as what the penalties were, I'd have to look that up to see exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right.
There we go.
So it's 7:51. Let's see.
Y'all got 2 events left and we got 1.
We have back-to-back.
Let's try to finish the year drama free. Me and you are doing our part.
I'm about to say, you and I are doing just fine.
Everybody else out there, no drama. Let's end the year on a good note. Come on.
We'll see. We will see. But I'm I don't know what's going on, y'all, with our sport, but it's just getting crazier and crazier every year.
Hey, old Todd joined in.
Do what?
Old Todd joined in the chat.
Hey,
Todd.
Todd,
yeah.
you're supposed to be practicing.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah, dude, they're an hour behind us, and he's already off the water.
It ain't but 10 till 7 out there. Get your butt to work.
He's old, though. He's got to get off early so he can get his
Battery's
bed.
really on him. He may be really on them. Like,
might
hey,
be
I
really
don't
on
need
'em.
to fish till dark.
Yeah, he might be really on them. Good luck, Todd.
Yeah.
We all wishing you best of luck here.
Todd's
from the LTF
fishing
studio.
the NPFL out at Pickwick this week.
Starts tomorrow, I believe.
Just start tomorrow? All right.
Yep.
Good deal. Well, maybe that's why he's off the water early. He's got to get rigged up.
He said, "I'm old, dude." See,
I'll
that's
give
what
him
he
that.
said.
He's got to get rigged up if they start tomorrow.
That should be a good tournament. Pickwick's always been good, but it's kicking out a lot of really big fish right now too.
And
So
last time I was there was a good bit of grass there coming back, and it was a fun lake.
yep. All right.
I think I read something. I don't know. I wonder, can they still go to Bay Springs? Or I read something about they were making it where you couldn't go to Bay Springs.
I
in a
don't
lot
think.
of them.
No, I'm pretty sure Todd mentioned, and Todd can answer. He's on here. If they're not allowed to go to Bay Springs, I think they have to stay.
Y'all fished it recently, didn't you?
Yeah, but if you went to Bay Springs, you should have been kicked right square in the nuts.
I know, but could y'all go? Was it an option or no?
I don't remember it being an option.
Yeah,
It wasn't in my mind. So
it didn't.
if they allowed us to go, I was like, nah. But I don't know. They can't. They have to stay in Pickwick. Can't even lock to Wilson. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Todd said we can't. Have to stay in Pickwick. I think that's good. Like I never did like the whole going to Wilson and all that stuff.
Yeah. That I'll never forget that FLW event where
Oh God, when like 30 people got locked.
I still would have barely cashed a check, like a top 50 check, but I ended up finishing 31st because like 25 or 30 guys.
I remember that. That was a
locked out.
May event.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep. And it was due to, I don't know, barge got stuck. What was it?
I don't remember, but there was like 30 guys got locked out. Like couldn't make it to the weigh-in. And that lock going to Wilson is absolutely huge. You get in that thing and it's like way.
It is. Kevin, I agree, man. It's too hot for drama. It's just too hot. Like, it's too hot for any kind of drama.
I agree with that.
Chuck, I don't know, man. That's yet to be determined. You know, that's a long run from Waddington. We don't go out of Clayton this year. We go out of Waddington. So
how far is it from Waddington Lake?
well, to the mouth of the lake, it's like 70 miles, I think,
it's that-
from
yeah.
Waddington.
Yeah, that's
65,
true.
70 miles to the mouth of the lake, plus wherever you run into the lake. You know, so
if
that's
you're going 20 miles out in the lake.
yeah. Like I fished around Duck Island, which is way out in the middle last year, which is 14 miles further out in the lake.
Oh my God.
So you're talking about, and then gas, and then you have to get, like, here's the thing, dude. When you go out of Waddington, you better forget what the weather's doing in Waddington.
Right.
You better
gotta
look at the lake. Yeah, you better look at the lake.
Yeah,
So-
if it's 5 to 10 in Waddington, but 15 to 20 at the lake,
it's like, nah.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
I mean, you know, you could realistically, even if it's rough, you could get out to some good fishing in the lake probably in 2 hours. You know, you could have 4 hours of fishing time.
Yeah, which would
realistically.
be plenty.
Which is plenty. Yeah, I mean, you catch. You know, if you're on them and you know here's the thing about that last tournament, Chuck. So we have a win and you're in on our last event of the year. So I'm sitting, I think, 19th in the AOY points right now. I've got a good cushion over the Classic Cut. If I cash a decent check at Champlain, I'll be locked in for the Classic.
No way you can fall out of the Classic.
That's going to go into my decision making. Also, I'm going to kind of look at the list and kind of figure out how many boats I think will attempt it and try to win, because I do think that you probably have to be in the lake to win, even though it's 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
I think somebody will find a mother load out there and weigh in 25 a day and probably win that thing with over 100.
Yeah.
So
Probably somebody named Johnston.
it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, them boys are both in the top 10 in the points right now, too. So,
yeah.
you know they're probably going to risk it all.
Oh, yeah.
But see, you got to think, man, those boys also know all the best stuff between there and Clayton, too.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
so
Like they can catch 25 pounds.
they
in the
catch
river.
25 in the river, yeah. And then they'll just wait till a slick, calm day, and then they'll run out the lake and catch 25.
30.
And then a rough day, they'll still catch. That's the problem. On a rough day, they'll still catch the same weight in the river. They may not be able to catch the same weight in the river 4 days in a row, but they won't have to because they know so much stuff.
Right,
You know, and those guys will catch one in 3 foot of water up there that time of year, and they'll catch one in 40 foot of water up there that time of year. So they just understand it. Chuck, that's a bold prediction. Said Chris Johnson will win AOY.
I like it.
I'm gonna, Cody and Justin have been fishing really, really, really well this year. I do know Cody fished really well at Champlain last year. He will be very good, very hard to beat there again. He didn't win the tournament Champlain last year. Had a really strong finish. I think he topped 10. He'll be out there doing his thing. He's a forward-facing sonar guy. He's won a ton of money doing it. Has as much confidence as anybody doing it. Is as good as anybody on the elites at doing it. I think he'll have a real strong finish at Champlain. And as long as Hamner can keep pace, I'm not counting Trey out by no means, but as long as Hamner can keep pace, I think it'll be a 3-horse race still going into that last event. I'm looking for Cody to make a run too. I think he'll do really, really good.
Last year, Hamner had some of his best finishes the last 2 events up north.
See, I didn't even know that because, Hamner to me has always been a great angler, but he flew under the radar a little bit. And then he won the Classic this year, and he's fishing out of his mind.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm going to show him what's up now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he's as confident as any Hamner I've ever seen, Justin is he's just beaming with confidence, and that's a scary trait to have as a professional angler. He can't do no wrong, and he's going to be tough. He's going to be tough. Yeah, all right. It's almost.
But you still got a lot of variables with those last 2 events. I mean, you could have
for sure.
You could have guys making a long run to tie at Champlain that don't make it back.
Well, all them guys in the top 3 or 4, they ain't going to tie. They're all smallmouth fishing.
Yeah,
they're all
then
FFS
you
guys.
could have. You go to the lake and have some mechanical issues or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a lot of variables.
100%. No, I did not get that, Ryan. Tickle the Pickle T-shirt made? I didn't get that T-shirt made. Shadbird shirt. Yeah, we need a Shadbird shirt.
Yeah.
We still need another Shadbird shirt.
Jeff may be out of the shirt making business. I don't know.
Is he, Tyler? What are you doing over there?
I'm reading comments.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tyler,
we'll let it
looks at
slide.
Huh? So is it trivia question time?
I
7:58.
think it's trivia question time.
Well, we nailed this. You got anything to add?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything. I learned a lot tonight about all the drama I didn't already know about, so that was interesting for me. It was a good show.
I got a question for you. So we've been to ICAST. We've been going for how many years?
I've been going for at least 15 years.
Okay, I'm probably close. You go down there every year. A lot of times we have sponsor dinners with different people and things like that. Where's your favorite place to eat down there? This is Orlando, by the way. That's where ICAST is.
Man.
Or where's your favorite place been to eat down there?
Probably Capitol Grill.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of those in Charlotte.
But it's delicious.
You just love it.
It's delicious.
Okay, so
That and Maggiano's, because I really like Italian food too. I'm going to give them a tie between those two.
I have been to Vito's. It's good. There's a Rocco Tacos there. That's amazing. It's like authentic Mexican food.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is always cool, and we always go with the Lunker Hunt crew.
Yeah.
Which is a bunch of Canadians, by the way, which can
like
drink all of
tacos.
us under the table. And I don't try to hang with them. I'm too old. I take my shot of tequila with them, and I go to bed. And that's what I do. I must have missed the drama in the chat. My wife's regulating.
Good job, Emily.
She said, "Let's chill on the drama in the chat too. No one wants more drama." Sorry, I'm not reading fast enough, but we're gonna have to read really fast in a minute because we have a trivia question coming
trivia
up.
question time.
We appreciate everybody tuning in. Had close to 200 viewers again tonight.
Yep.
Again, y'all check out Angler's Choice Marine. Y'all give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we never asked to do that. We don't ask for much, but that'd be cool if y'all did. We try to give all the goods when we can, many fishing tips as we can. We have a lot of fun on this show, and we'll get in the studio together.
I guess it'll be 2 weeks. We'll, like I said, won't have a show next week. Maybe the week after that.
I hope so. Yeah, it sounds
Possibly.
right. We'll do an ICAST wrap up.
Wrap up.
Well,
that'll be a good one.
guess what? By the way, I made a phone call or a text. A buddy of mine who fishes the elites and who lives in Hickory now, and he might have the same name as me, and he agreed to come down here and be on the show.
Lives in Hickory.
You didn't know this. He's moved to Hickory now.
Who?
He has the same name as me. I just said it.
Matt. Well, what's
It
his
ain't Matt
name?
Herron.
Robertson.
Yeah.
He moved to Hickory.
He's in Hickory now, yeah.
Why would he move to Hickory?
Because he married a girl from there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. All
Maybe he can figure out how to catch a bass on Lake Hickory because it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's been on Hickory yet. But
You know
all
who
right.
else used to live on Hickory or had family on Hickory?
Who's that?
Fish Fishburne.
Really?
Yep.
I never knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Fish Fishburne, Team Grandma. I remember Fish Fishburne. What's he doing now? He's still doing the UMF thing?
I think so, yeah. I hadn't talked to him in a couple months, a year or so.
Yeah, I agree, Tyler. We need to make Emily a moderator.
We do. She's doing an excellent job.
She's laying down the law in the chat.
Yeah. All right. Trivia question. This is for Angler's Choice heavy duty weigh bag and Angler's Choice hat. All right, whoever wins the trivia question, send us a message on our Facebook page, on the Let's Talk Fish Facebook page, with your shipping information, and we'll get this stuff out to you ASAP. All right, here we go. I need to know, how deep was the deepest spotted bass that I caught during the Smith Lake tournament?
Ooh, that's a good one.
How deep was the deepest spotted bass I caught during the Smith Lake tournament this year, by the way?
Oh, this is going to be good.
I actually caught one deeper one of the times we were there in the past.
Can we narrow it? Like, not really narrow it down, but can I ask a question?
Well, I mean, hold on. We're getting close. I see a lot of close ones.
I see a lot of close ones.
You remember the answer, right?
I do.
Okay. Tyler, you remember the answer? I
got it.
Is it Kevin?
Yep.
All right. Kevin Wisnot nailed it. It's
42 feet.
42 feet. Todd. Actually,
Todd's not wrong either.
Todd, you get a participation ribbon.
I got a follow-up question. Was it on the bottom or suspended at 42 feet?
Suspended.
All right.
It actually followed. So it was kind of a mistake.
It's an accident.
Yeah, I actually pitched my minnow out there, and I was working on some fish in about 25 foot of water.
Yeah.
And then, what did I tell you happened earlier?
The striper?
Yeah. So it came up, and he split. A striper came up and split the spotted bass, and they disappeared. Well, I went down there, and I clicked my range out so I could see 70 feet down. I was in over 100 foot of water, but I could see 70 feet down. And when I did, I looked back up, and there was like 2 fish up above this piece of timber. And I fired, and they were like in 35, and I fired my minnow out there, and I'm guessing it was 42. But it looked like 42.
That's the answer.
42's the answer. Yeah. 42's looked like where it bit. So anyway,
that's awesome.
My roommate Canterbury had one follow a drop shot from like 25 foot suspended all the way down to like 57 to the bottom and sucked the worm up off the bottom. And he caught it. Yeah, it was like a 2-pounder. So Kevin, you know the deal. I think Kevin might have won before. But send us a Facebook message, private message on our Facebook page with your shipping information and all. We'll get the weigh bag and the hat out to you ASAP. Thanks. Hey guys. Mr. Jones, Ryan, I appreciate the support, y'all. Take a second and hit that like button if y'all don't mind. But we appreciate everybody tuning in once again. And we'll be back after ICAST, y'all.
That'll be a good show. We can talk about all the goodies we see. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of jig heads and minnows at ICAST this year. Probably.
You think?
Yeah. I think that's probably all it's going to be, jig heads.
New product showcase is going to be, it'll be more than just minnows. It'll be like sea urchins and crabs and squids and all kinds of stuff.
That's true. It may be a sea urchin.
I mean, it might be all kinds. Dude, we might see the craziest stuff this year than we've ever seen. I mean, after Taku and some of these guys, what they're throwing at them, it could be a wild and crazy ICAST. But we'll do an ICAST wrap-up show, get back in here with y'all as soon as possible. But appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And Brian, you want to send us out?
Yeah, thank you guys. We're looking, as Matt said, we're looking forward to getting down to ICAST, and we should hopefully have a real good show when we get back. But if we can't go fishing in the meantime, what are we going to do?
We're going to sit right here and talk fish. See y'all next time.